Hi everybody, welcome to Just the Two of Us. Welcome to the Pantry Challenge from Three Rivers Homestead. My name is Colleen. Today's actually January 2nd. Yesterday we just had leftovers. We cleaned out the fridge of any leftovers we had, so I didn't really do any cooking. But today we're going to start. We had canned turkey soup for lunch. From Christmas I made a turkey soup. And I forgot to film that for lunch, but that's what we had. So tonight we're gonna have chicken Parmesan with our homemade pasta sauce with meat. And I forgot to get a knife, hold on. So when I did my freezer inventory, I completely forgot that when we got our chicken breasts from the Amish, I had taken some of it and I pounded some of it out and I breaded it in some flour and seasonings, and it's all uncooked, but I did a few of these ahead of time to make life easier down the road, but I completely forgot about them. That's why it's good to do freezer inventories. So I took out a package of these, and it's just lightly breaded with flour, and I put salt, pepper, a bit of paprika, onion powder, garlic powder, and just smallish pieces. And I'm going to take our homemade sauce. Just going to put a bit of sauce on each one and let them cook in the oven for a good half hour or so, just like this. And then for the last 10 minutes or so, I'm going to put on mozzarella cheese. I don't want the cheese on the whole time because these aren't cooked and the cheese will be totally disintegrated probably by the time the chicken breasts are ready. So I'm just going to let them cook like that. And in the meantime, I'll get our water boiling for the spaghetti. I'll grate the cheese, and then you'll see when we put it all together. So this is today the official first day of the Pantry Challenge. See you in a bit. Bit more sauce on the chicken, and we've already encountered a problem on day one of the Pantry Challenge. The mozzarella cheese is in the freezer and I forgot to take it out, and I don't want to put it frozen on the chicken, so I'm going to improvise with this. It's not going to taste quite the same, but it'll get the job done. When I buy it, I get it in a big brick, and then I usually cut it up and vacuum seal it into sections, so because we don't go through it that fast, and I forgot to take it out. But I do have Parmesan, so I'll add a bit of that. I'm going to put them back for about another 10-15 minutes, and then supper's ready. All right, day one supper: spaghetti with homemade sauce, Frank made garlic toast, our chicken Parmesan with not the right cheese. We have tomato. We don't have any cucumber or lettuce. I'm just going to top it with a bit of Parmesan again, and that's it. We're going to sit down and enjoy a delicious supper. See you tomorrow. Right, tonight's supper is canned potatoes from last year, Italian sausages from our cow, because we have so many of those, and I just canned some baked beans, and we're going to open a jar of those. There, we roasted the potatoes, and I did German sausage too with the Italian. We opened a jar of beans. If there's any leftovers, we'll just make a breakfast casserole with it. Nothing fancy, but really delicious. Tonight we're having breakfast for supper. We're gonna have some really good omelets. Here I have some leftover breakfast sausage from a couple of days ago when we had French toast and breakfast sausage. And here I have some red pepper and Cubanelle peppers that are in the freezer from the garden. Here's some chopped onion from the freezer. This is the cheese that's left over from when I did the chicken Parmesan. And we have some eggs. I'm trying to use up these little silky eggs because I don't use them in baking or anything because I don't get the right measurement. So it's going to be a really good supper. We love breakfast for supper. Today marks 1 week of the Pantry Challenge, and I haven't been so good about recording all our meals because generally by the end of the day, I'm done. I'm too tired. But also, we enjoy eating leftovers, and I purposely will cook, when I cook supper, I make enough so there is leftovers. And for example, tonight we're going to have hot chicken sandwiches, which is one of our all-time favorite things to eat. And when I did the freezer inventory, I had a frozen Costco rotisserie chicken. Well, last night we ate half of it just like chicken, and it works out perfectly. I like dark meat, Frank likes white meat. But tonight we're going to use the other half, slice up the meat, and unfortunately, it's the only time we use store-bought gravies. And I'll show you what we do, how we assemble it. But this one chicken for $8 is going to feed 2 adults 4 meals. So this is just kind of a convenience meal. But I'm not going to be good about showing every single meal, but also because a lot of it is leftover. So I'll probably only do an update every 2 weeks because I won't have enough to fill a whole week, but we'll see how it goes. So we take the homemade bread, and I'll take mine. I like the dark meat. And a bit of white. There's not as much dark. Good. Well, there's a piece. Take a layer of gravy. Put the top on. Some more gravy. We mix hot chicken sandwich gravy and barbecue. And no hot chicken sandwich is complete without, what are these, baby peas? Little peas? Now Frank has French fries with his, but to me that's enough for mine. And that's how we have the Sir Tender peas, that's what they are. And that's how we have our hot chicken sandwich. It's one of our favorite meals. Hamburger soup for lunch. Our breakfasts are usually yogurt and toast or bagels, and maybe once or twice a week we'll have bacon and eggs or French toast, but generally it's something like this. And I've been on a bagel making extravaganza lately, so this is what we normally have. Today is bread making day, and I usually make 2 white loaves. But today I'm going to make 1 white and 1 raisin bread. I love raisin toast, so I've just adapted my white bread recipe a little bit for the raisin bread. We usually have pizza about once every 2 weeks, at least on a Fun Food Friday for sure we have it. And a friend of mine introduced me to this Fleischmann's pizza yeast, and it makes the perfect pizza dough every single time. There's no rising of the dough, there's no resting of the dough. Once you mix it, it's ready to make your pizza pie right away. And it goes so quickly. In less than 5 minutes, you have your dough. It's ready to roll out instantly. It doesn't make a thick pie crust. It doesn't make a thin one. For us, it makes the perfect pie crust. I buy it in bulk from Amazon because I can't find it in our local grocery stores. I'm using our homemade pizza sauce, and I don't usually end up using the whole half pint. So after I've made 2 pizzas, what I do is I freeze what's left in the jar, put it in the freezer, and then after 2 pizzas that I've made, what's left in the 2 jars, I can make a whole other pizza. So I get 3 pizzas out of 2 half pints. And I kind of go heavy on the pepperoni. It's not a spicy pepperoni at all. We like it with lots of pepperoni, but I don't like spice. And these are one of my favorite toppings to put on the pizza. This is the roasted, or they were roasted, the Advarsky peppers that I grow in the garden. They were roasted and then marinated, and then they were pressure canned, and they're my favorite thing to put on a pizza. I just drain them a little bit before I cut them up, and they're just delicious. The cheese I buy in bulk, and then I section it off and vacuum seal it and freeze it. And I do it in the size that I need for each pizza. So then I never have any waste. I measure it out exactly what I need. And when I cook the pizza, I cook it to make the top go really golden brown. So it's a little bit crusty on the top, but ooey gooey cheesy on the inside. Tonight's supper is going to be teriyaki chicken. I marinated it this morning. I just did like soya sauce, brown sugar, some garlic, and a bit of lemon juice, and it's been in the fridge all day. So we're going to sear that and then put it in the oven. Frank made rice this morning, and it's been in the fridge all day because we're going to make fried rice, and it's better when it's cold. We took broccoli that we grew last summer out of the freezer, and we're going to roast that with a bit of olive oil and just salt and pepper. And in the rice, I'm going to use up the rest of these peppers that were in the freezer from the garden, and some of these onions, and some garlic from the summer, and a bit of, so we'll use some of this soy sauce. And that will be tonight's supper, kind of like a Chinese theme. This night we had sweet potatoes from the garden. I still have a few left, and we're enjoying them so much. I tried a new recipe in the Instapot with tornado steaks. They didn't turn out so tender, but my gosh, the gravy that made was absolutely delicious. We used some canned carrots, some canned sweet corn. I used canned beef broth for the gravy, and it did turn out to be quite a good dinner. A friend of mine just came over and brought all these tomatoes. They're all frozen, that she didn't have time to do anything with this summer or fall. And she asked if I would make her pizza sauce, which I'm happy to do. And what's left of making the pizza sauce, I'm going to try out a marinara sauce, and we will split what's of the marinara sauce. So I'm going to weigh them out as to what I need for each recipe. And these are tomatoes from plants that I gave her in the summer. So they've just been taking up room in her freezer, and I'm happy to do this for her. And there we have it. 3 marinaras, and 3 are already downstairs, and the rest are pizza sauce, and I still have some of the jars to wash and take the bands off out of all those tomatoes.